Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the Holler. My name is Kevin. Today we're going to be doing some reverse seared pork chops. We're gonna head back out to the Silverback today, and to top it off, we're gonna be doing a copycat of Cracker Barrel's fried apples, so stay tuned. Alright guys, before we get into our pork chops, we're going to start by making our fried apples. Now this is a very simple recipe, but it comes out outstanding. So we're going to start with 2 cups of apple juice. And we got that on medium heat. And then next thing, I have 4 apples sliced up with the skin still on. We'll go ahead and put those in. And the apples I'm using are this is Gala apples. I believe the original recipe calls for Honey Crisp apples, but sometimes those are a little bit harder to find, and they are a little bit more expensive when you do find them. If you can get them though, use those. If not, use a tart apple, and that's what comes out good. Alright, once your apple juice starts boiling, be sure to go ahead and turn it down. We just want these to simmer. Now what we're looking for our doneness for the apples is just fork tender. We don't want them to be mushy. You want, imagine like an apple pie when you're eating it. The apples have somewhat of a little bite to them when you're biting through them. That's what we're looking for. We'll use a fork to basically test as we're going, and we just let them simmer up. Alright, while our apples are simmering over there, we're going to make the thickening agent, more like the apple pie filling. So we're going to do 1/2 cup of apple juice. And this is 4 tablespoons of sugar and 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. And then for our seasoning, we're going to be using apple pie spice. We only need a teaspoon of that. Then let's whisk that all together. Alright, apples are about done. I think I've been testing them with a fork, just pushing them in, just seeing if the fork will go through them. And that's what you're looking for. Does the fork go through? So we want to stop them before they get to mush. This was about 12 minutes, what it took once they were boiling. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take these apples out of the mixture. And then as this one, the leftover apple juice continues to boil, that mixture that we just made up, we're going to go ahead and pour into it. Now we're going to let that come up and start simmering until it starts getting thick. Now it doesn't take long for this mixture to start thickening up. It's only been just a few minutes and it's starting to thicken nicely now. You're going to want to stir it as it's thickening. Alright, once it gets thick, you can see, watch this, see if you can see this when I pick my whisk up. See how the liquid kind of sticks to it? If it was just straight apple juice still, it wouldn't be able to stick to it and run down like that. That's how you know when it's ready, when it gets thick like that. Alright, so now we're going to take our thickened mixture and just pour over the apples. Give them a real good stir. Now, this is super hot right now. I'm going to let this sit here while we get our pork chops going. See guys, pretty simple for the apples though, and these things are good. If you've ever been to Cracker Barrel, this is very similar to their fried apples that they have there. Alright, for our pork chops today, all I have here is some pork loin that I have cut into basically pork chops. I really like doing them this way. And we're going to keep the seasoning simple today. I'm just going to use my SPGO mixture. If you've never seen any of my videos, what this is a coarse salt, pepper, garlic, and onion. Alright, and that's all I'm going to do to these pork chops. I don't want to put too much stuff on them because we're going to be using those fried apples that we made a little bit ago on them. So I'm going to go ahead and go get the silverback ready, and I'll see you at the grill. Alright guys, we got the silverback fired up to 250 degrees today. Now for these pork chops, we are going to be reverse searing them, which means we're going to be bringing them up slowly, and then we're going to finish them off with a very high heat. Now our target temp today is around 145 degrees for these chops. So most likely I would be pulling them off of the pellet smoker once we get to about maybe around 135. So I'm just going to take this, I'm going to put it directly in the center. And when you're cooking this way, guys, always go by temp, not time. I don't care what anyone tells you that to cook it this long. If you go by temp, you can never mess it up. Alright, so we'll keep an eye on these. Once they get to about 135-ish, I'm going to fire my Weber up, get it really hot, and just around a minute per side, and we'll be done. Alright guys, we just hit 90 degrees on these chops, and what I want to do is I want to turn them over so we can get some even cooking action. Alright, one thing I forgot to mention earlier is I'm using Hickory, Pecan, and Cherry pellets. And you don't necessarily have to do this on a pellet smoker. Just whatever grill you have, just set it up for indirect cooking where you can bring it up slow. But we'll need a higher heat source later though. Alright guys, our pork chops hit right at 135. It's time to go ahead and sear them. Like I said, just whatever grill you got that you can get up super high heat. This Weber that I have works perfect for getting super high heat. It's pushing 550 degrees right now. So we're just going to do about 1.5 minutes per side. All right, they've been going for about a little bit over a minute per side. Now let's take a look at it real quick. Yeah, look at that. Oh, these are gonna be good. All right, guys, our pork chops have been resting for a few minutes now, and check how juicy they are. It's about to run off my cutting board over here. So let me show you how we're gonna do this with the apples. First, I'm gonna slice it up. I'm gonna use my new knife that my daughter got me for Father's Day. Call this my meat sword. Let me go ahead and start plating this up and show you how we're going to do it. Now the way that I'm going to do it, because I think apples go with pork chops very well, is I'm going to take our mixture that we made earlier, and I'm actually putting on top of it. Alright, let's go ahead and try it. Get this in one. Oh man, guys, that's really good. I don't know, apples and pork chops just go good for me. I like it. I hope you guys give this a try. But that's it for the video. As always, if you got any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And always, holler back.